Hello, my name's Julia Fountain and I coordinate the Dementia Consultation Group here at Sussex Partnership Trust. Our role is to work with dementia researchers to provide our lived experience of dementia to inform and guide their research. Our circumstances are all different. Some of us have a dementia diagnosis and others, like me, have experience through caring for somebody who has dementia. We want to talk today about the impact of involvement on us as individuals, on the research itself, and also to think about ways to improve involvement to really make our voices count.
I was only 3 years into retirement when my wife began to notice slips in my cognitive abilities. I, however, remained resolutely in denial for several months, until I had to face the realities of my situation and agreed to a doctor's appointment. From there, the process of assessment and scan was quite speedy, but we then faced a nearly 3-month anxious wait for the diagnosis appointment. In the event, the arrival of coronavirus intervened and my wife was given the diagnosis over the phone, the day before the clinics were locked down. This life-changing and distressing news was exacerbated by being told that there was currently no support or help available to us. We were on our own. We have subsequently discovered that this situation is not unique to the time of COVID. It is hard to describe the impact of being told that you have Alzheimer's disease. All one's future hopes and plans are immediately thrown into disarray. I was in the early stages of the disease, but without a proper consultation, I had no idea what this meant in terms of the progress of the symptoms. Do I have months, a few weeks, a few years, many years, before the inevitable decline takes place? When it does take place, what support is there for me and my wife? For some weeks, we felt in a vacuum. We made the decision to tell family and friends so that slips in memory need not be awkward for anyone. Additionally, I'd been told that the way the disease had affected me meant that I had to stop driving, so that needed an explanation. We received kindness and support from nearly all quarters, although there were a few surprises when people simply did not know how to react appropriately. Oh dear, that's a death sentence for you both, was the worst. Can you still have a normal conversation with him, being not much better? Happily, one old friend came straight back with information about the research projects going on and recommending that we should join the Dementia Consultation Group. I found the idea of being involved in research interesting, both from an intellectual point of view and also because the thought of contributing to future improvements in the identification, assessment, treatment, and support of people with dementia gave me a purpose beyond my own individual diagnosis. This has turned out to be the best decision we could have made. We have had involvement in it with several research projects, but even more significantly, we've come together with a group of interesting, like-minded, supportive people. We may come from many and diverse personal and professional backgrounds, but our interest in and commitment to dementia research give us common cause. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Ellen, and I'm involved because I'm a family carer for my mum who's got dementia. So that's my involvement in this group. And I'm going to talk to you about the ways in which involvement of those with lived experience can make a difference to research. So people living with dementia and their carers know what dementia is like from the inside. We know what the main challenges and frustrations are. We know what works and what doesn't. We know the questions that are always asked and the key things that no one ever seems to think of. We want to give you 3 reasons why you should involve us in your research. Firstly, your research will be better designed. So your research topics will be better as they'll relate to the issues that will make the greatest difference to our lives. Your research and interview questions will be better because we can tell you what's missing and how to phrase questions and how they'll be heard. There'll be better troubleshooting and resolving of problems in pushing your research into practice. We're living with dementia. We spend our lives thinking our way round things and coming up with creative solutions that will work in practice. Secondly, your research will be better quality. We can help you make sense of interview and focus group responses and improve and refine them. We can point out where the gaps are and help you prioritise. We know which brilliant ideas are not going to work in the real world of life with dementia. We can iron out your problems for you before they happen. Lastly, your research will be more effective and meaningful. It will be more person-centred. It will focus on the issues that really count. It will have more impact on the lives of people living with dementia and their carers in the real world. But don't just take it from us. Here are some comments from researchers who have worked with us. I'd always looked at my patients and research subjects from a clinical perspective. Now I'm looking at them from a human perspective. The group's input has been invaluable in helping us focus on issues that are most important to people living with dementia and their carers. The group have been essential in creating research ideas and determining research priorities from their lived experience. And we can change researchers' lives. How about this feedback? The group helped drag me out of my academic ivory tower and continually reflect on and reevaluate my thinking. And this enabled me to grow as a professional. So, involving those with lived experience in research, it's a no-brainer.
My name is Chris Maddox and I'm living with early onset dementia. In 2016, I was diagnosed with early onset vascular dementia. In 2018, I was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, and last year diagnosed with Lewy body dementia. And one of the things I would say to you first off is see the person and don't see the dementia. My main reason for getting involved in research and all the talks that I do is to raise awareness of dementia and how it affects people's lives. And the other thing I'd like to say is that people think that dementia is all about memory. It's not just about memory, it's about sensory issues as well. And I have problems with noise levels, and my balance is not good. So please don't think it's just all about memory. And I've been having a look, and I have got a few notes here about what can improve involvement, especially when you're working with people with dementia. First of all, ask us early to get involved. Get our input before decisions are made. It's so important that people living with dementia are involved from the onset so we can have a real and a true impact. When you send us information, think about the information that you send us. Make sure it's not too complicated. Use less jargon and don't use acronyms. The number of emails I've received and I don't even understand what it's saying. So make sure it's in a way that we can understand it. Think about your language. Make it clear and straightforward. Remember that words are very important. Things like being called a dementia sufferer can be hurtful and distressing. Please refer to us as people living with dementia. I've heard some much worse terms than that, but please think about the words that you use. At meetings, think about the type of meeting, the timing of the meeting, the length of the meeting. And please don't expect us to slot into your way of working. You need to adapt and adjust to our needs. We can't concentrate for long periods of time, so don't try to fit too much into a meeting. It would be better to have maybe 4 20-minute meetings than to have a meeting that goes on for over an hour. And allow us breaks, short breaks. As I just said, 4 short meetings would be better than 1 long meeting. We can get tired. I get tired very easily. And I would say that a person living with dementia, my brain will be concentrating and working for much longer than a person without dementia. Brain is working, and it can be exhausting. Please ask us a question and then wait for an answer. Don't ask multiple things at once. Give us time to process what you're saying or asking. Allow space for us to process and formulate a response. Make sure we've understood the question that you've asked us. If there's a silence, don't try to fill it. It may be that we're just composing and constructing what we want to say and still processing the question. Ask us one question and wait for an answer. Listen to our answers. People often say that they're listening, but in my experience, people might hear what we're saying, but often they're not listening to what we're saying. And please just keep making sure that we've understood what you've said before moving on to the next thing. And I would ask you to consider the emotional impact that research and questioning will have on us. This is our life. We live out this life every day with dementia. Talking about certain issues may be distressing for us. And my last thing I wanted to say is, remember, if you do all these things well, and you make a meeting or an email work for someone with dementia, it will work for everyone.
So thank you to Tony and to Ellen and to Chris for those comments. I'd also like to say thank you to all of our Dementia Consultation Group members, those who are on screen with us today, and the other members of the group that aren't with us while we're making this recording. There is a lot more for us to learn, a lot more for us to do. We're working to increase the membership of people in our group, to increase the number of people with a diagnosis of dementia, to think about widening the geographical reach of our group across the whole of Sussex, to increase the diversity of our group members, and to increase our presence. We're going to continue to work with researchers to make sure that we keep people living with dementia at the heart of dementia research. Thank you.